What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your review of Bridgerton Season 3, Episode 4. Okay, so I forgot a really important part in my last review, so we're just going to start with that. Colin asked his mama about friends becoming lovers, right? And, you know, of course, Lady Bridgerton always knows the right things to say. So Lady Bridgerton let it be known, hey, listen, it can happen. You know, your father and I, we were friends and it was a love match, and when you know. And she realized that he was looking at Penelope while she was having this they were having this conversation. But of course, Penelope was occupied with Lord Dublin. They were dancing and some more stuff. So Mama is peeping what's going on with Colin and Penelope. And she told him, listen, you just have to ask the question. Like, you need to go and ask the question. So he went to go ask Penelope the question, but that's when Penelope got interrupted with Lord Dublin, and then she went off to go have her little dance. So we pick up the next morning, and Lady Bridgerton is kind of checking in with Colin. Colin said that, she said, listen, it's the calling hour. Of course, can you or your brother, you be available? And he was like, look, I'm going to have to sit this one out. I'm just kind of preoccupied. So she was like, well, are you okay? She said, listen, I remember you asked me, about friends becoming lovers. Like, you need some more information, you need some more help, you need some more advice, I'm here. And he was like, Ma, I appreciate it, but yeah, no, I'm good. He said, I was just asking, because I want Francesca to find the right match, right? And of course, child, you ain't fooling nobody. Now over to Lady Danbury's house. Lady Danbury is not amused by her brother being there. She wants to know how long he plans to be there, how long he plans to stay, and why are you really here? He doesn't really give her an answer. I mean, he sort of alludes to just being at his country house and sort of being, a little lonely or whatever. But we definitely get the impression that she feels like her brother is basically a charlatan and a gigolo, right? She is not amused, nor is she welcoming. Like, it's like she don't even want him there. Okay. Now, we see where Lord, am I saying his name right? Dublin? Where he called on Penelope, and of course Penelope's mother is beside herself because, child, she thought Penelope was just gonna be an old spinster. So she is like, yes, yes, and yes again. Call on her, call on her, call on her. Now, while they were there, she talked about the fact that she liked to sit in the window in the sitting room and watch, look out of the window. Well, of course, the view from that sitting position is the Bridgerton house. That becomes important later on. Okay. So while they're out, they go to an opening, where he's one of the lords is opening his house for, his library and his art and museum, art collection and stuff. And so of course society is there. So we see all the players there. Penelope is there. Of course, she is stuck in the library. She thinks it's great. Oh, rewind. I'm sorry, I missed a very important part before we get to that. So we get to the Bridgerton sitting room, and it is calling hour. And Lady Bridgerton just knows that the guy that the queen... Hold on, let me get his name. I wrote his name down, child. Samadini. The person that the queen is hooking Francesca up with, she just know he on his way. She'd have had, his favorite dessert cooked and everything. Well, who comes walking in is the mysterious guy from the ball the night before. And we find out who he is. He don't even know Francesca's name, child. But that is, his name is Earl of Kilmartin, right? I think it's George Sterling, Earl of Kilmartin. And he was like, I apologize, that I came calling without, like a proper introduction. But, we briefly met and I just wanted to come and talk to her. So they go sit down because, of course, Lady Bridgerton can't be rude. She has to be like, okay. But that is not who she was expecting in her, in her during the calling hour. So they sit there and they don't say nothing to each other. They're just sitting there staring at the wall. And everybody's looking at them like, what are they doing? Like, are they going to talk? They ain't going to talk. How they get to know each other? And then here comes the Sandini. he comes through, and of course, that's who they were expecting all along. And it's very awkward because Francesca now has two guys that's calling her at the same time. Mr. Sterling does bow out gracefully. He leaves, but it was just, it was that weird energy. Like, okay, I don't know what. Do I have competition here? Um. So while they're at the opening of this exhibit, Lord, I know, I feel like doubling isn't right, but y'all know who I'm talking about, right? He basically tells Penelope that he is interested in asking for his hand in marriage, and how would one go about doing that? You don't have, ain't no male over there in that household. Who do I need to talk to? And she was like, well, you need to talk to my mama. He was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So baby Penelope about to have herself a man, okay? And she's on one hand she's happy because he said, listen, I travel a lot. I'm really not home. I really just need somebody that's going to be there to take care of the estate. And if we like each other, that's cool. But, not really looking for no love match. Not really, holding out for no love match. But, you do. I mean, he ain't say it like that, but that's basically what it is. Like, okay, you do. Okay, girl. So, so again, of course, Penelope's happy. Now, we see where Benedict went calling on, his widow friend. And she was like, child, I don't want nobody calling on me. And next thing you know, they doing the horizontal Watusi. She was like, I don't need all that. Like, been there and done that. Just come on in, get naked, and let's do what we gotta do. Colin is trying to drown his sorrows because he is realizing that not only does he have feelings for Penelope, but he is realizing that I basically, dropped Penelope in the arms of another man with this whole I'm gonna teach you how to become desirable, situation. And he feeling it. He tried to go down to the house of ill refute, and he couldn't even get into it. He was like, it is what it is. I'm really not feeling it. So Francesca and Lady Bridgerton are out shopping, doing what they do, and they run into the Earl of I keep wanting to say Killmonger, baby, that's Wakanda. The Earl of it's Killmartin, not Monger, but anyway, and it was awkward. He didn't really have a lot to say, but he was like, great music, right? Because it was somebody, a fiddler on the street, and Francesca was like, well, actually, not so much, and his face fell like, oh damn. And she went into explaining what was wrong with the music and why the tempo was all wrong and all of these different things. So he basically was like, okay, well, I gotta go. So Lady Bridgerton had asked her, well, do you like him? And so she told her mama, no, I don't like him, because she felt like he was real rude the way he ran off while they was in the middle of this conversation, or at least so she thought. So she was like, no, I don't like his ass, Now down to Cressida's. I think I called her Scarlett in the last review, but I knew that was wrong. But Carissa, child, she waiting for somebody to call on her, and it ain't happening, okay? Her mama is feeling some kind of way, and her daddy is trying to hook her up with one of his older, friends, just to marry her off. Well, Eloise comes by just to check on her. Eloise was like, listen, I just wanted to come by and check and see how you doing. Baby, her father comes up in that room, and her father tells her, listen, I don't even know why you here, and asked her to leave. And as she was leaving, she overheard him telling, Carissa, I don't want you hanging out with that Bridgerton girl. Now, I don't know what his issue is with the Bridgertons. I don't know if it's because Eloise is not trying to, get married. I don't know if it's because of the rumors about Eloise last season, which really didn't seem to do much. It was kind of in the air, but it didn't really, it didn't really hook in. So I don't know what his issue is with the Bridgertons. I'm sure we'll find out later on. But, Eloise was sort of hurt because, this is her new little friend. And now, the daddy don't like him, Now, down to the Mumfords. Baby, he is still struggling because he wants to keep, his little clubhouse open. And now people are starting to withdraw their membership. So it's kind of like, if you want voluntarily stop running your business, we gonna do it for you. Now his wife told him, listen, we gotta adjust. Like, I know that this was your baby, but you're gonna have to find something else that's acceptable in society, because this ain't it. Okay, this ain't it. Baby Colin is still struggling. He talking to his friends, and his friends ain't interested in doing nothing but seeing how many notches they can put on their bedpost before they're forced to marry somebody they probably don't even want to be married to. Okay, but over to the Featherington house, baby Lord Dublin done called on Lady Featherington to ask for Penelope's hand in marriage, and of course she said hell yeah. So Penelope is expecting a proposal any day now, right? Any day now. So now it's time for the ball. And at this ball, this is where Penelope is supposed to get engaged. And Lady Bridgerton lets Colin know, because Colin said, listen, I'm just not feeling good. You know, I got too drunk last night. I just ain't feeling it. And she lets him know, well, you know, Lady Featherington is telling anybody who will listen that Penelope is getting engaged tonight. I mean, I just thought you might want to know. And he was kind of like, why you telling me? She was like, because I thought you might want to know. And he was just kind of like, all right, well, you know, it is what it is, you know. And of course, he struggles with it going to the ball. But eventually he ends up, going. We see, a little ballet at the beginning. The queen is there. Baby, that wig that the queen had on, where she had like a whole, like, I don't know, I think a swan on ice skates inside of her wig. I don't know what she had going on. But baby, whoever does the queen's wigs, I'm here for it. And you keep doing your thing. You keep doing your thing, girl. Or guy, whoever does the wigs. They are beautiful. So Francesca, Francesca is with Lord Santini. Sanadini. Doing what's expected of her. You know what I'm saying? She's, dancing with him and everything. And when she comes off the dance floor, Earl Kilmartin, he says, please forgive me for being so abrupt, the other day when we ran into each other. He said, but I want to go get you this. And he hands her music, a scroll of music. Baby, he went and got that music composed the exact same way that Francesca described, that said it would be better if it was done that way. And so, of course, now she's in a rush to go home and play the music, because she really is just in love with her music. Baby, she leaves Lord Sander, you know who I'm talking about. She leaves him standing there with his lemonade in his hand. And baby, the queen is not happy. The queen is like, what the hell? Because she thought she had made herself a whole little love match. So she said, what the hell? Now, while this is going on, Lady Bridgerton is flirting with Lady Danbury's brother. Okay? And baby, Lady Danbury is just not healing. She is just not here for it. Okay? She is not feeling that at all. But what she does let slide is that Lady Danbury is a little bit of a meddler, meddling in other people's, business. And he was like, my sister? No, not my sister. Now, again, I don't know how that's going, I don't know if that's going, how that's going to play out, right? Now, Lady Danbury is talking to Lady Mondridge. I think I said Mondridge. And she's letting her know, listen, my husband is having a hard time letting go of our past life. And Lady Danbury is like, listen, sometimes you got to let them old lives go. You can't be revisiting the past. That's just not a good place to be. Okay? Now, Lady Featherington's other daughter's child, both of them think they pregnant. And I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Penelope going to be the first one to have a baby. Because I'm still not convinced that they are doing it right to even have a baby. If you want to know the truth of the matter. I'm not convinced that they figured it out. Because I'm not convinced that they are doing it right. Okay. Now, Cressida Eloise, this is what I like about Eloise. Baby, Eloise did not sit on that thing. Cressida came over to Eloise to say hi. She was like, you sure you could be seen with me? Because I heard what your father said. I said, I know that's right, Eloise. You better let her know you heard what her daddy said and that you feel how you feel about that thing. And she was like, listen, I mean, you know, that's my father. That's not me. I don't feel that way. And she was just kind of side-eyeing like, all right then. And then she kind of side her and was like, okay, well, that's how you feel. She was like, that's how I feel. But they laughed about it. And so they gonna be cool. She was like, listen, if you need me to, I'll stay away. Cause you know, I ain't really trying to cause you no pressure, you know. And so she was like, you know, no, like basically like, nah, forget my daddy. But she don't really mean it. And like I said, I just want to know why he don't like her. Why he don't like her. Now, while this is going on, Penelope is, you know, with, you know, with the Lord. And, you know, she asked him about a love match. And he was like, listen, considering the fact that I'm going to be traveling for years at a time. Child, he said years at a time. Not a couple of months, couple of weeks. He said years at a time. He said, I don't really think a love match is practical. You know, I mean, it is what it is, you know. And so she's kind of like, oh, okay. So Penelope is, I think the gloss is starting to wear off, and she started kind of sort of side-eyeing the situation like, is this really what I want to do? Is this really where I want to be? But of course, she wants to be married, you know? So, Colin now comes into the daggone ball, right? And Colin walks right on up to them and interrupts that dance. And I'm like, wow, Colin, like, you have to know that that is so wrong. Of course, it made a spectacle. Everybody's looking. Lord, what's his name? Dandridge, Daring, whatever his name is, child. He is pissed. As he should be, because that was rude, Colin. So, Carissa. Y'all, I'm sorry I'm not getting these names right. I can't find my notes, okay? But she took advantage. She rolled right up on him and was like, listen, I saw how Colin Bridgerton was so rude and interrupted your dance, but I will complete this dance for you, okay? So he does finish dancing with her, and Colin and Penelope are over there dancing, but they fighting while they dancing. They arguing while they dancing. And Carissa lets it slip. Not really, but she let it slip that Penelope and Colin have been friends since they were kids, ever since the Bridgertons and the Feathertons or whoever moved across the street from who. He was like, oh, really? She was like, yeah, they live right across the street from each other. He was like, oh, so like the view from the front of the house? She was like, yes. They could see right there. So now he's putting 2 and 2 together, and he coming up with 4. I don't know why you ain't put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4 before. But when the dance was over, Penelope went up to him and apologized because he ran off. And she tried to go up to him and apologize. And he said, listen, I see what it is. Like, I thought that you kept seeking him out because y'all had an argument and you wanted to make up. But now I realize what it is, okay? And what at the end of the day, I hope you find your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But baby, that's not what I'm trying to do, okay? I'm trying to find somebody that's going to take care of my house while I'm not there for the next 2, 3, 4, 10 years, okay? I don't have time for this, okay? Good luck in all your endeavors, all right? So, of course, Penelope is now pissed off. So she runs off and she gets in her carriage, okay? And Colin hunts her down, honey. He hunts her down and he gets in the carriage. And she was like, he was like, are you engaged? She was like, hell no, I'm not engaged. And you the reason why I'm not engaged. He don't want to marry me now because of you. And he was like, well, good then. And she was like, what you mean, good then? And next thing you know, they was kissing and doing other things in the back of that carriage. And by the time they got to the Bridgerton house, Colin was like, well, are you going to marry me or what? I said, I know that's right. And then, so that was pretty much the basic thing. But while that was going on over on the other side, Francesca played that music. She couldn't get home fast enough so she could play that music. Now, Lady Bridgerton don't really look all that mad that Francesca is leaning towards Mr. Kilmartin or Lord Earl Kilmartin instead of who the Queen set her up with. But we're going to see how that all plays out. Okay? Okay, that's where this episode ends. I know that the second half of these episodes have already dropped. I'm going to try to get those done before I go on vacation. But in the meantime and in between time, I will talk to y'all later. Peace.